Wait for the clock.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Pastor Malachi with my lovely and beautiful wife, Pastor Christine. Welcome to another episode. This is our first episode. I would say our first episode because last week was our introductory episode of the Malachi and Christine show coming on Facebook Live. So this is episode 1. And we have an awesome show for you guys tonight. But before we get into that, let me say this, or let us say this, that we have a special gift. Okay, this is something that was placed on my heart today. And I actually texted my wife late in the day and says, hey, I felt led to do this. And of course, she gave me the okay. So we have a special gift to 5 lucky or blessed viewers, we'll put it like that, blessed viewers that, let me turn some of this heat off.
We
glowing, looking like we glowing. But we have,
Are we okay color-wise? Let us know if we're okay color-wise.
Ain't like we can do anything about it because we don't have...
Too dark, too light, too bright.
We don't have no production crew yet. But we have a special gift for 5 lucky viewers tonight. If you are in a relationship, between relationships, and or desire to have that one special relationship, you really want to key in tonight of what we have to say. And as a way of us saying thank you to you coming in and supporting us and viewing us and following us, not only on the Malachi and Christine page, but also our personal page, which is Malachi.ChristineMitchell page, you're going to have a chance to win a free book. Okay? A free book. So, as a special thank you, this she'll show you the book. This is the cover of the book. Hopefully you'll get a chance. Hopefully you can see that. So all you have to do, okay? All you have to do tonight is basically chime in, say hello, and your city, okay? Say hello, and then put your city, and that is going to allow us to take all your names, those that are viewing. We're going to drop those into a special gift hopper. And what we're going to do is, the second thing you can do is, there was 2 things, is say hi, put your city, and the other is tag 3 friends, okay? Tag 3 friends. Now, we know that you that are live, you're going to be doing this right now, but there are others that will come in later. And so we're going to give them an opportunity to get in on this as well to win a free book. So once the show is over, we're going to, give it time. We'll probably do this tomorrow. So give everybody an opportunity to see this and get in on this. So say hi in the comment box and put your city and tag 3 friends. Okay? Tag 3 friends. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull 5 names. Okay? And so you 5 winners tonight are going to win this book. It's called, what is it called?
It's called Two Becoming One. And how do you do that? Or what's the process of 2 becoming 1? You become 1 emotionally, you become 1 spiritually, and you become 1 sexually.
Oh.
I don't know why I put such an emphasis on sexually, but those are the 3 areas where this book talks about how to become 1.
Yeah, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully you can see this because the lighting is kind of crazy right now. There you go. Becoming 1 emotionally, sexually, and spiritually. So when you open the pages of this book, okay, you're going to learn how to experience exciting intensity in your sexual relationship, deeper levels of closeness on an emotional level, and the most fulfilling intimacy of all, spiritual oneness. Okay, one of the pages that in the book says that with God's help, now this is important for you to understand this, with God's help, you can make your marriage all it should be and all you crave it to be, no matter what it is like right now. And that's one of the most important things we want to talk about tonight is to become one. We have some scriptures that we wanted to share with you because we always want to, we're talking naturally, but we always want to do it spiritually. So Christine, she's going to read a couple of scriptures that will launch this off. Two become one.
Hey, you guys. First of all, thank you again for joining the Malachi and Christine show tonight. Every Thursday, we are airing on Facebook Live, 7 p.m. And we decided that when we do this show, we want to do this show based on what we are currently experiencing in our relationship for here and now, and what God is doing in and through our lives as husband and wife, and to help prepare you who are single to get to that place of meeting your purpose partner, your soul partner, if that is what your soul desires, and to also help those who are in relationships moving and leaning forward into that direction of marriage, or those that are already married. How can you enhance and be more aware of what it means to become one? And this is a journey that we're going through together, so we want to allow you to have the opportunity to join our journey with us, learn from our experiences, whether they are experiences where we're bumping our heads and learning by trial and error, or it is smooth and easy for us. So either way, we feel that you're definitely going to benefit because this is real to us. And we want to be real, we want to be authentic and very genuine. So once again, tonight, we are talking about two becoming one emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. We're going to start off with two scriptures, and everything we do is all based on the Word of God and biblical principles along with our journey and our experiences. So Mark 10:8, that's where we get our scripture. It was our marriage scripture, as a matter of fact, as we were building our engagement into our wedding day. We chose the theme of two becoming one because we knew the importance of what God's union is with when two become one. And so in Mark 10:8 it says, "And the two shall become one flesh, so that they are no longer two but one." No longer two but one. And then Ephesians 5:31, it says, "For this shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and again, the two shall become one." Now, Malachi, I have a question for you. I want to know, what does it mean to cleave? Now, we're older. We weren't living with our parents at the time, but we have a lot of young engaged couples or dating couples, and they are living with their parents, or their relationship with their parents are very close. So when Ephesians 5:31 says, "You shall leave and cleave," what does to cleave mean? Can you give them a heads up on that?
Definitely. Before I do, I was laughing because someone had alluded that they thought this was Facebook Live with Ice-T. Really? But if you're just joining us, okay, if you're just joining us tonight, we had said at the top of the hour, which was no more than about 9 minutes ago, that we're giving away 5 books to 5 lucky viewers tonight. And all you have to do to be entered into this drawing is say hello, put your city, and tag 3 friends. Okay, so I'm gonna say this regularly so those that are coming in later will get a chance to get in on the drawing. We have a book that we're going to bless you with. It's on us, and it's entitled Becoming One. And this is what we're going to be talking about tonight, to become one, because this was a theme of our wedding, more or less, to become one. And the definition basically of cleave, when you go to Mr. Webster and you look it up, it said to adhere firmly, okay, to adhere firmly and closely or loyally and unwaveringly. So basically, you're going to stick very closely with the person that you're cleaving to, okay? This is a biblical thing that a man, hello men, that when you get married, it's no more mama. It's no more mama. But you cleave to your wife. You cleave to the one that you love, adheredly, firmly, closely, and loyally. That's very important in a relationship, is to be very loyal with the mate that you love. So
I love those last 2 words. If you caught the definition of what Pastor Malachi said, to adhere firmly and closely. But the last 2 were also loyally and unwaveringly. So I want to just let the singles know that if you are in a relationship and there is a lack of loyalty, you may want to reconsider cleaving with this individual. loyalty is one of the requirements when it comes to leaving and cleaving. In addition to that, unwaverly. When I think of the words unwaverly, I think of no doubt, no questioning, for certain, you know that you know that you know that you know. So if you're in a position, once again, and you're in a relationship and potentially moving into engagement, into marriage, if you're having any sort of doubts, if you are wavering in your decisions back and forth, then you need to be very careful. You need to get into prayer. You need to get into fasting. You need to get some counseling before you make that jump and that covenant, permanent, committed decision. It's a huge decision. It's a big decision. And you should not be wavering. It should be, once again, that place where you know that you know that you know that you know. Malachi and I knew what we knew, and there was no wavering and no doubt. And so I want to just encourage you. Any hesitation, it's not the time to move into marriage if you are dating.
Definitely. And again, like I said at the top of the hour, we're giving away 5 books, okay? And in order to be in this drawing, I can talk, I have a master's. But in order to be in this drawing, all you have to do is say hello and your city and tag 3 friends. That's it. And we're going to be giving away this. This is the cover of the book. Hopefully you can see this. And it's called
Becoming One.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
Becoming One.
I'm excited, Malachi. I want to ask Malachi a question. And I ask Malachi questions all the time, Pastor Malachi. And throughout this conversation, I am going to start to ask him a lot of questions because he really is diligent in studying. He has a master's degree, and he is really apt in studying the Word of God and other type of references. And just, you'll love his answers.
I like to read.
Yeah, he loves to read. So when we came up with the subject topic, I told Pastor Malachi, the first thing we need to do is to help the people understand what does it mean, because I always had the question, well, what does that mean? Two becoming one, is that a natural thing? Is that a spiritual thing? Is it a combination of both? So I think it's important, if we're going to move in that direction of understanding two becoming one, we need to answer that question. So Pastor Malachi, what does it mean, two becoming one? What is that? What does that look like? What does that mean?
Well, basically, when you talk about becoming one with someone, becoming one is more than becoming of one mind, okay? It's more than becoming of one soul, and it's even more than becoming of one heart. Becoming one is more intimate than these, okay? Now, those are nice areas to become one. Okay, we're one in the mind, one in the soul, one in the heart. Those are good areas, but it's a lot more than that. And marriage, hear me on this, marriage accomplishes what no other relationship can accomplish. Now, a lot of people, they want to get married, then they want to be one with their soulmate or whatever, but when you think about it, a man and a woman becoming one in the concerns of the flesh, okay, it's a deeper relationship than we can really get into on this short live feed about becoming one, because a husband and a wife are more than physical, and marriage is intended to be a divine institution. When you really think about what marriage is, it's an institution. It's a divine institution. Now here we go. I'm getting warmed up, because when I start talking, she knows that when those 2 hands come out, I'm getting ready to get busy. But I don't want to turn this into a Bible study. But, however, you can't help but to talk biblically when you talk about relationships, when you talk about becoming together as one being. And as I said, a husband and a wife, okay, we became a husband and wife. We became one. We talked about this for months. We talked about becoming one. We made it this our launching pad. And on a spiritual level, okay, let's talk about the spiritual level. Husbands and wives are capable of a unique and wondrous unity. Okay, when you come together as husband and wife, you come together in a wonderful unity, because you're now mingling your mind, your heart, your soul. You're mingling these into one. And when I say into one, that on that level of spirituality, becoming one, as we're saying, refers to intimacy. Okay, that's very important, because when you think about God and Adam, and how much he loved Adam, and how much they loved Adam so that they created him in their image. Whose image? In God's image, in his son's image, because Jesus was with him, whether you believe it or not. Jesus was with him when he was creating mankind. But the intimacy of God created you for what awaits you. Okay, we talk about, we want that right person, that love bug, or that whatever you want to call that person. They're awaiting you. Trust me, these people are awaiting you. And in order to find these people, and I said this last week, we talked about, what was the finding love? How do you find love? And how do you find love? And I said that if you stop looking for love and allow God to lead you, you'll find what you want. He'll lead you exactly to where you need to be when you're talking about finding love. Stop trying to find it yourself and allow God to lead you to a place where you can be found. Okay, and that person can find you, and you can find that person. So you have to be led instead of you trying to do all the finding. But the intimacy of God created you for this particular thing. Open your heart. You have to open your heart to the marital bliss God intended you to have. And this is something that Christine and myself, we had to learn this. We were talking about marriage. We was going through marriage counseling. We wanted to understand, okay, we're getting ready to come together as one. Okay, I had my faults, she had her faults. I had issues, she had issues, but we had some strong areas as well. As far as spiritually, we were strong in the word, we were strong in prayer, we were strong in our faith. But there were a lot of times that even in those areas, they were shaken.
So let's go backwards a little bit, Pastor Malachi. So there's a couple of things that he mentioned as far as oneness is concerned. He mentioned the physical part, which is sexually. He also mentioned the emotional part. We know that our soul is our mind, our will, and our emotions. And so when you are desiring and you're wanting to become one, or leading into marriage or in marriage, and I really want to talk to the singles out there in the dating process, is when I was dating, I wanted to find someone that I could relate to on all levels, where there was a connection that we had physically. There was what do they call that? Chemistry. But then also, Malachi and I had lots of discussion when we were in the friend zone about communication. And he mentioned to me that what he loved about our friendship was that we talked, that we communicated, that we were on the same level as far as our mindset and our intelligence. And so I wanted to make sure that whomever I was going to work on or one day become one with, that the chemistry, physical connection was there, that the mind, the soulful, and the emotional level was there, that we can connect, that he was someone that I knew would be open and transparent and authentic and be able to connect with me on an emotional level, on a mindful level, with our intellect, but most importantly on a spiritual level. Because in the world, I found chemistry physically. In the world, I found a lot of soulful connections with emotions and mindset and intellect. But the biggest thing that I lacked, that Pastor Malachi gave to me in my desire of marriage, was that spiritual connection. And that spiritual connection is what tied all of that together. And I don't see, and I think one of the reasons why this marriage that I'm now versus my prior marriage is moving in the correct direction, the right direction, right, more of an easy direction, is a result of all of those coming to place, but that spiritual oneness really being the foundation. Definitely. So if you are dating, make sure you are connecting on all those levels. Don't miss the spiritual level, because if you miss that, then you pretty much miss the whole concept of two becoming one.
Definitely. And that was one thing that she helped me with, was allowing me to open up and to communicate on a higher level than I was accustomed of in dating, when I was looking. See, that's what happens when you're out there and you're looking, you're going to find whatever you're looking for. And so when I stopped and allowed God to lead me, that's when I found Christine. And so our level of communication was on the same level because she loved God. I loved God, right? And, sure, there's a lot of people that will say, oh, I love God, but yet their conversation is not godly.
I want to make a response to Rebecca because Rebecca, I've seen a lot of that. I have been a part of a singles ministry prior to marrying Pastor Malachi called Single and Not Ashamed. I highly recommend, Rebecca, that if you are single, that you join that community. It's called Single and Not Ashamed Sauna. It was a great place for me as a single woman, but they have a lot of discussions about situations like that. And you mentioned about how a man wanted to marry you and wanted to date you and lead it up to that point, but you said you wanted to be friends first, and he was unwilling to be your friend.
Clue.
And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of guys out there, and there's a lot of men, and there's a lot of Christian men who will not allow themselves to take the time to build a friendship first. In their mindset, they said, okay, well, no, if you just want to put me in the friend zone, then you're not worth my time. I'm just going to find the woman that says yes. But let me tell you something. Malachi asked for my friendship first.
Right.
He asked for my friendship, which was different than any other man I've ever met. They wanted to get straight into the relationship and skip the friendship. But because he asked for friendship first, in a place where I was healing, in a place where I was hurt, that allowed him that open door to start building a relationship with me, which I needed first, and then build that trust. Once the trust was there, then we were able to move forward into a romantic relationship.
Right,
so
right.
I think that's good for you. Kudos to you, Rebecca, for backing away and saying no. Friendship comes first. If they don't have the patience for friendship, they're going to rush you into a situation you don't need to be in.
Right, and that's the most important thing, is being able to have someone that you can talk to, someone that you can confide in, someone that you can pray with, not together alone, but someone that you can pray with. Because when we first talked on the phone, she'll tell you, what was the first thing I did before we got off the phone? And this, before we even met. Well, we met, but we talked on the phone. No, we talked on the phone before we even met. Because you interviewed me for Sauna, or was that after we met?
That was after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why she's here to help me remember, this, But my biggest thing was to be spiritual, be godly, and not just wear the medallion, I'm a Christian man. No, I wanted to be a spiritual man. There's a difference between being a Christian man and a spiritual man. Because when I'm mad, the Christian man might cuss you out. But to be mad and the spiritual man, I'll hold my tongue and I will pray with you and pray for you. But I prayed with her. I prayed for her. And that showed her where I was on a spiritual level. That wasn't no front for me because I was raised in a Christian environment, so I knew that, and yeah, I wasn't always there, but that's a post of another day or a video of another day, when we talk about all those other shady areas. But I wanted her to know that I was real in my walk, okay, because I knew who she was. Okay, you have to know who they are. I knew who she was, and we'll talk about far as how do you know who they are and what they are. But I knew who Christine was in reference to where she was going to be in my life. Okay, so that's a very important area.
Right. And so, Rebecca, going back to what you said, and to everyone who's in that dating relationship or moving and progressing forward into a romantic relationship, or you're already in a romantic relationship in the courting stage going into potential marriage, is that why is there such a rush? Why is there such a rush? Pastor Malachi didn't rush our relationship or our friendship season, because he knew in his heart what the ultimate purpose and goal was and what God was putting in his heart. But at the same time, he didn't want to make the same mistakes that he's made in the past and get into a wrong marriage again.
Right.
So he knew by taking the time, continuing to seek God, fasting, being extremely consistent, that was the most important part, with just waiting. You have to continue to wait for that. Remember in the beginning we talked about not wavering in our decisions as far as marriage is concerned. And so if you're in that waiting part, allows us to get from the wavering doubt, I don't know him that well, is he the one, is she the one? It allows the time that's necessary for the trust to build, the respect to build, the friendship to build, the communication to build, so that you can get to a place of marriage and oneness. So back to our subject topic of becoming one. And once again, if you type in your name and city that you're in and share with 3 friends, you will be into the drawing to win this Becoming One book. We'll pull that on the course of this weekend. But back to that, you have a little bit more about the definition of what it means to become one.
Yeah, and it's important to understand that when you are looking for that purpose partner, that your purpose has a full meaning to you in your life. You know, do you know where you're going? Do you know what your purpose is in your life that God has already planned for you? Do you know? I knew what that was. And when I saw Christine, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that she was the one that was purposed for my next chapter of my life in every area of my life. You know, we're talking naturally, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, all of that. She met every need. And that didn't come by chance. That didn't come by, flip of the coin. That came by me, like she said, by me fasting, because I wanted to do it the right way. Because I told her I didn't want to hear outside influences. I didn't want to hear my friends. I didn't want to hear my close associates. I didn't even want to hear some of my family members. I wanted to hear from God. And when I got in that position and I was serious, God put me on 3 different types of fasts. And I'm going to tell you, it's not for the weak at heart, okay, these fasts. And it allowed me to hear God on a very high spiritual level, not the natural level, because now, I was starving. I was hungry. I was like, oh, and so it put me in a position of humbleness. It really humbled me, because marriage is an arena in which we all discover on the way to becoming like God is put into practice. So on our way to becoming like God, marriage is in this arena that we're practicing and becoming like God. And I'm going to explain why that is, because being devoted, right? Being devoted in a relationship, to a relationship, means to be devoted to one another, being devoted to each other's needs. I was devoted to her needs. She's devoted to my needs. And this is being devoted relationship. You're devoted to the other person's need more so than your own needs. So now it becomes, okay, it's not about me, but it's about her needs. Okay, it's not about what I want. It's about what she wants. So when you start thinking about the other person's needs, now you're devoting yourself to more of a spiritual level and how to really hear God. It means taking on the other person's needs as though they were your own needs. Sometimes that's hard for men. Men don't want to give up, that ego, some about the ego that we have. I can talk about me. We don't want to give up that side of saying, oh, you're a softie. We don't want to give up the man, the authority. I don't have a problem shifting my authority if it's what God really wants us to do, and she takes that role. I don't have a problem with that, because I know it's benefiting both of us. Okay, so there's times that she'll lead, there's times that I lead, there's times that we'll both lead. Now, and it goes that way. So in doing so, 2 people, when you start devoting to one another's needs, you start merging into one. And this is what we're talking about, becoming one, and how to become one.
Yeah, so we are actually right at 7:30, and our show are dedicated to be a 30-minute show. So we have a lot more to talk about in reference to this subject topic of 2 becoming one. We understand the importance of it. We understand the calling that God has on our life and our marriage to help couples really, really become that one the way that God planned it from the garden and the relationship, like he said, with humanity, and how marriage really is a symbolization and a representation of God, Jesus, the groom, with the church, which is the bride. And so I love that. We'll end with that. Two people merging into one is becoming one, and that is a very selfless act. So Rebecca, again, I thank you so much for dialoguing with us. We invite you to dialogue with
Definitely.
us. It gives us an opportunity to share a little bit more. But one thing that you mentioned, and Rebecca, you said it, I didn't put words in your mouth, is that maybe there's a possibility that there's been some selfishness in you. Well, I'm going to say one thing. If you are single and you're still single, but you have a true heart's desire to be married, then that is one area in your singleness that you have to work through.
Definitely.
Because you will suffer in marriage if you do not learn and really live 1 Corinthians 13, which is love is not selfish. It is not self-seeking. And in marriage, you will be put to the test of your selfishness. So we will end with that today. Once again, we thank you for joining the Malachi and Christine show. If you are just watching us or you're watching the tail end of our show, make sure you write your name, what city and state you're from. Share this video with 3 friends, and we will put you into a drawing to win this book, Becoming One. You're very welcome, Rebecca. Hey, Stephanie. But I'm sorry we didn't get to continue on, but we still have next week. Next Thursday, we'll be here every Thursday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Catch the replay if you missed this from the beginning. It started at 7 p.m. But we just thank you again for participating with us. We love you, and we're honored that we'll even have a chance to empower your life, inspire you, and give you something that's just going to make you a better person.
Yeah, and share this out with your friends. Tag your friends. Let them know that the Malachi and Christine show is on. This is about doing the work of the Lord, and we're sharing to help you as well as helping us, because as we grow, we're helping others to grow. And what we want to do, we just want to be a benefit to other couples, excuse me, single and married, because in order to be married, you were single. In order to be single, you want to be married. So we want to be a help to you. All right, guys, that's it for us tonight. We appreciate you, as she said. We love you much. Remember to follow us on our social media pages. Our personal pages are commingling into one, so be sure to follow us on our new page. You'll get all the information on Facebook. But we thank you, we appreciate you, and we really love you guys. So we'll see you guys next week, all right?
All right. Shout out DJ Kev.
DJ Kev, what's up, man?
Bye, you guys.
See you guys.
Have a good night.
Peace.